Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the No Thumbs podcast. We're back with the podcast. Joining me today is the LGCHL commissioner, the young Buck, or Bucktacular, as he's now known, apparently. How you doing, Buck?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right myself. So, there's this. You put out a forum post about this changes coming to the CHL, and I thought it was important to have you on the show to further go over them or maybe address any questions that maybe I or the audience might have. So,
Wow.
thank you for the gifted sub, Hexi Canada Shorty. Appreciate it very much.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wrong commissioner.
That's okay. But anyways, I thought it was important to ask, some questions, go over it. There's a couple other things we need to address, but let's just get into it.
Sure.
So the first thing we'll talk about here is Tulsa Valdor. So a lot of people want some answers on it. Look, we're not going to dive into it. I don't want to get into a debate with chat. So, Buck, I just want you to explain it, and then we'll move on because I don't want to spend too much time on it. This isn't what the show's about, but go ahead.
Well, Tulsa Valdor, to start, that was an annoying situation because so many things could have been avoided had they communicated properly. So basically what happened was Rakub comes in the help desk and said, the booting has started, our guy's internet got disconnected, what do we do? So I said all playoffs, when there was booting, there's no penalties.
Right.
Booting, for the most part, you can prove that it's booting. Guys are offline for long periods of time. They don't just come back on like instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I said, give your guy a few more minutes to try and get back. If not, get an ECU. The guy was back like stat as soon as I had said that. So I had told all teams prior to the series starting that every game, if they streamed it, they had to post it into the PMs that I had set out for the teams. And they provided that after the lag out boot happened, like after the game had completely restarted. So like I had no way of being able to, like, at the time seeing that.
Right.
But Valdor had showed me a timestamp of the stream where the guy was gone, and then the time the guy was back, and he was like back right away.
Right.
Give me a second, bud.
Okay. This is good. How are we all
Sorry,
doing today?
my roommate's choking. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
Wait, he's choking?
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, continue on at the timestamp.
Okay, so basically, that the player was like he got offline, and he tried a couple times getting back into the party, and then he was he came back on, but like there was no error. Like it didn't take long because by the time they posted the stream link,
right,
and the time that the lag out had occurred, only like 8 minutes had passed, and they were like 16 minutes left in the first period already.
Right.
Of the restart.
Yeah.
But so when the restart happened, because of that situation, Tulsa didn't take a penalty. But Valdor said it was a lag out, and then we were able to get what's it called? The router logs to prove it. So it was a lag out. It wasn't someone booting him offline. We were able to track it back, and it was just like, hey, there's nothing indicating here that it says like this IP is like sending you anything, pings, and nothing like that. So I was in a call with Grizz, Shorty, and Brody at the time, and I explained the situation, and they basically just said, run it back,
right,
make them take their penalty, and restart the game from there.
Right.
So that whole period that they're complaining about, which I understand, saying they played a full period, but there was like 11 minutes left in the second when they quit out. There wasn't like the whole period had gone. It was like 10 minutes I'd played.
Right.
I understand the frustration. No, I 100% do.
Yeah.
But that was the decision that was made. I understand that Tulsa's mad, but they had 2 periods left. They could have still won that game. They
Right.
could have won game 6. They could have forced a game 7. They
Right.
didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, they still lost on the ice.
Yep.
They were the better team. They should have won that series. They did not. One call isn't going to change 4 losses. They still lost 4 times.
That is true. So that's fair. I don't have any questions regarding that. I thought you explained it well. You know, that's it. I don't want to spend too much time on it. So if you were looking for an answer on that, we got the clearest possible answer right there. So thank you for that. But we want to get to the real stuff now. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get into some real things. So first, I was asked this right off the bat to bring this up. The CHL Change Committee. I just want to ask, because this is a McDonald post, so I
Yes.
just want to ask if you have any say in this, or like, do you know what's going on here? Just an update for everybody. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the change committee, it's basically every league has their own change committees. It's where they look at the rules to help tool them and like reformat them. So like
Right.
basically, the suggestions thread that we have at each league for
Yeah.
the next seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically they help us implement that in a proper way and then put it in the rule book.
Yeah.
So each level, so NHL, AHL, and CHL, the staff choose the committee members for their league.
Okay, so you get to choose your own committee members?
Yeah, so it can be players or managers.
Right.
So we're going to look at basically who we feel has the stronger voices and the stronger opinions that we know
Mm-hmm.
and bring those guys in because that's what we want. We want guys who know the league, that know what they're talking about, and hope they can help us make better changes for the league going forward.
Right. So is there a timeline on when the committee's going to be assembled?
I'm not fully sure. I got to talk to Brody again about that
Okay,
because
I just had some
can't
questions
remember.
about it because you know, people want a voice, right? So I thought I'd bring it
100%.
up. Yeah.
Everyone deserves a voice in LG, and not everyone gets it.
Right. There's some good names in that forum post. I didn't get all the names, but I was looking down at some good names applied too. So hopefully
Yeah, I know. I saw that too.
yeah, some long time guys as well. So anyways.
What do you got next for me?
All right, let's get into your forum post. This is the main topic of the show. So a lot of people have concerns. Maybe you can ease their concerns a little bit.
Yes.
Some different, angles being taken here. So let's get into it. We'll start with the step 1, CHL team alignment. That's the big one. So I'll just read it. A complete removal of the QMJHL and ECHL. So I want to ask point by point a question. What led you to those 2 leagues being removed and maybe not the other way around? Why keep? I don't know. This is like what type of question this is, but why keep the OHL and the WHL over these 2 leagues? That's my question to start. We'll go point by point.
So we wanted to bring down the number of teams
Right.
by a substantial amount because looking back at numbers when we switched consoles from 360 to the Xbox One, yes,
Right.
we played on the old game anyways. Like we
Mhm.
went back and replayed 15 again,
Yeah.
but the numbers were super low.
Yeah.
So we're expecting the numbers to be really low. So
So
right
that's
away, I knew the ECHL had to go because it's the biggest league.
That's
28
fair.
teams. That was a given.
right.
But then we didn't. The next 2 leagues, the Q is 18 teams, the O is 20, and the W is 22.
Mhm.
If we took away 22 teams, that's another huge chunk.
Yeah.
So we're like, that's too much. And then the O is and the Q is like 18 teams. It doesn't take away too many,
Right.
and there's still a competitive nature. 42 teams, it takes away more than half the teams that were left
Mhm.
or that were in the league. But those were the major decisions. It's just trying to make sure that we still have a decent sized league
Mhm.
and keep it competitive at the same time.
Right. So going down from 88 to 42,
Yeah.
you did say there is potential to get 60, which I think everybody would love the old CHL, to be honest with you, the Egon. I know some people have been playing in the E recently, but some people would
Yeah.
love to see the old CHL back. But
So I've run the numbers, and just to have a full 42 teams with no TCs
right.
would require the site to have just over 1,800 signups.
Okay. So
For
that's
me to
just
want,
42.
yeah, for us to have 11 TCs per team, so that would be the perfect 17 man for the 28 team TC league.
Right.
Okay, we would need 2208
Mm-hmm.
to have 10 TCs per team, essentially.
Right.
So we need 2,200 signups, and we are just over a quarter of the way there. And the game comes out next month. So we're preparing
for the
stuff.
worst.
So the goal in my thread is what I have planned for the CHL.
Mm-hmm.
If there's not enough signups for us to have a CHL, we do have a contingency plan in place where we would run an only NHL AHL, and we would allow there would be no like status, so prospect, amateur, veteran would not matter. Prospects could play in the N, and like so on and so forth. They'd be able to play at whatever level, and we would run a old gen only on the CHL.
Wow.
So like an old gen league on the CHL with the CHL teams, essentially.
So you just answered like a lot of my questions that I had written down with that.
Yeah, so we like that call that I had with
greased
Brody.
me. Go ahead.
Brody, Grizz, and Shorty, like we sat down for like 2 hours and we're like, okay, so what do we do?
Right. We'll go back.
So that
we'll break that down. Some of the things you said, I'll have to re-ask, but later on, and maybe a different way, different answer. But
sure.
okay, so the thresholds for basically a 60 team. So you said a 42 team CHL is 1,800, correct?
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
Around there, and then a 60 league, it's going to take 2,200.
Basically.
Okay. That was one of my
22
questions.
to 25, yeah.
Yeah, so we answered that, what it's going to take.
And like I said, if we don't get anywhere close to that, because we need 1,800, so say if we had like 1,400 or 1,200, we'd probably have to do the NHL, AHL only, and then open up old gen signups 2 weeks after, basically, and run and see the sign up numbers and make a CHL for old gen only, and use either the 42 team setup or the 60 team setup.
Just to revise maybe another question. Was there okay? So I remember everybody made the playoffs a couple seasons. Well, it was a while back, way. I'm not sure how long you've been around, but
I've been around since seasons like 17.
Okay, was that the time whenever there was in the CHL, everybody just mandatory made the playoffs? Do you remember that? There was a season like that where it didn't matter.
There was a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a season like that, but I think that was when we only used one conference.
Right.
I think it was just like the OHL, and that was it. That's why.
So my question is, was there any other, I guess, consideration instead of just removing 2 leagues to potentially just remove some teams from different leagues and just have all 3, Q, OHL, WHL, and just drain.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like you just cut the number of teams. Like maybe you keep
it. Ran
42.
If I ran 42, I could do 14, 14, 14.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically.
Yeah.
That's something I could look at. Yeah.
Okay, so that was another question. I think somebody else asked me that. I'm not too sure.
That's a good idea. So
yeah.
I'll talk to Shorty and see if there's something we can possibly
just to keep all 3 leagues, and
because it's got to keep a schedule too, right?
Right. And it's more so like, I don't know in terms of expansion if it would be easier or harder, but like when the league eventually does get back to where it was, I don't know, it may be easier or more difficult. I'm not sure, but that was I think somebody else asked me. I'm not sure who asked me that to bring
I
that up.
don't personally, like from my own point of view, I don't see the ECHL coming back ever. Like as like a CHL, like 88 team league. That's just my point of view, but I don't think it's ever going to come back.
And there you go, Buck. You got your gifted sub from Hexi-Can. Thank you very much.
Let's go!
Anyways, thank you. Okay, so, all right. That's pretty much it. The playoff format, we don't have to talk about. There's nothing really to talk about there. I actually like 1v8, 2v7, 3v. I like that a lot better than what was going. If you saw some of the matchups,
it's also just a pain in the ass to try and build that.
Yeah, I don't. It's just this makes it easier. I know LG's a sim league, but if it was up to me, I'd be doing 1v16 to be honest with you to make it the most competitive. But you know, 1v8, I'll take it. I'll take that kind of format.
Yeah.
Is there anything else here that we need to go over? I don't think so. Did I? No, I think we got it all. Okay. Oh, this was gonna be the slide with the split. I forgot it was 2 slides. But anyways, this is what it looks like now. The OHL and the WHL are divided. I have it written down here to change the slide too. I never actually did it, but this is what it looks like now. So the ECHL and the Q is removed, and now it's just the O and the W. So for now, maybe the Q can come back. I probably maybe should have put it in the middle, but we'll see what the numbers look like. And thank you again to Hexi-Can for a gifted sub to Oh So Country. Appreciate it very much.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this guy, he's
just climbing the leaderboard.
Yeah, dude, this guy dominates the leaderboard. He is the leaderboard. Anyways, let's move on. Okay, so this was a major one. The new TC League.
Yeah.
This one is, there's a lot here. There's a lot to unpack, so we're going to have to go step by step through this.
Okay.
Starting off, the LGTC expands to a 28-team league. You said, due to the removal of the QMJHL and ECHL, I will be using a 28-team ECHL for season 40 as the 28 teams for the LGTC league. Okay, so the ECHL is pretty much LGTC is what you're saying here. Can you take us through that decision? Go ahead.
So it's not that like I'm demoting them, essentially. It's that we're just using those teams as, like, we want to have a competitive enough league, and with us removing the ECHL, those teams are free, essentially. We're just using that. It's just the jersey name. It's not much else than that.
So it is not the ECHL, you're saying. It's just the branding.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I like, there's a lot to unpack in this. I have it all unpacked here.
Yeah, I know.
Slide by slide, we'll go through it. You said assign, this is where it gets a little dicey. Assign each of the 28 teams an owner. So you're saying here the owners would be chosen from the CHL ownership pool for those who did not receive one of the 42 or 60 teams. This will be up to the applicant, as it would be a permanent position for the entirety of season 40. This allows players who want to try their shot at management have an opportunity to run their own team. So the point 4 relates to this. The owners of the LGTC teams would be finalized after the ownership selection process when it's finalized. So, okay. My first question in regards to this, are you concerned that people that want to run a CHL team will be unmotivated to take an LGTC team?
So, like, basically, I'm just using those who applied, like, for CHL ownership positions. So, say, like, we got, like, a brand new guy. Like, I'm going to use Bumpy as an example, but, like, Bumpy, brand new guy. Should he have been a CHL owner last season? Probably not. Do we have the ownership applications numbers to really force that out? Not really. So, and in the case where we'll probably have enough ownership applications to fill 42 teams, because that's what we're really planning for right now. If I have 60, 65 applicants, and, well, they're all eligible for teams, a lot of them are going to miss. So I
Right.
can offer them a chance to own and learn management and running a team and all the things that it takes to be a manager. Just with the TC League, it's going to be basically build your own team because it's all through random assignments.
Right.
That's your team. It's
Mm-hmm.
just TC players. So you organize like a Discord, get your team chat, and get everyone trying to get as many guys as you can active to play games. Just because like those guys are on TC, they're just sitting there not doing anything unless they ECU. So give them something to do instead of letting them go inactive because they're not being used.
Right. Okay.
So the owners are just like there to organize it. It gives them some management. They're going to be able to trade for other guys. Just has a little element to it.
Okay, so to follow up, Fly asked it in the chat, but I was thinking it too. Would the management of the owners or management, I don't know how it's going to work, but of the team in the LGTC league be eligible to play in the CHL?
I haven't fully thought of that one, to be
Yeah.
honest, but I would assume because they're taking a management position, they're locked to it. So like if they were to quit it, they would be banned.
Right.
Because they're being assigned to that team. They're not going through CHL bidding or anything. So I would say I'd give them like a random assigned team and then they'll have ECU rights.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
about
I was
it.
thinking. So ECU rights, just not in the, but all
Not
leagues.
on the roster. Yeah.
And would there be management criteria for the TC league, or would you just be willing to give it to
Same
anybody?
as CHL.
Oh,
Same as
okay.
CHL.
All right.
Makes it easy.
Okay.
Because I mean we don't want guys like, for example, if it happens,
Jake loves.
Lemlin signs up
Oh,
late.
Lemlin's not taking an LGTC team, but
No, but you know what I mean. Like guys,
well, I get it. I
there
get it.
are a lot of top players that sign up late, and like
Right.
be like, oh, I get the spank kids. Sure, fun.
That's another part I'm concerned about, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah. I don't know. When I did it with the 4-team trial last season, it worked out really well. The 4 teams were like happy to have a chance to play. It was cool.
So the next couple of slides are about, so the next couple of points are all related. So
Yep.
we're going to go over them. Basically how the league is structured here. Make the LGTC run similarly to the NHL, AHL, and CHL. 20, basically you're going through that again. So the first point there, it's all scheduling and stuff, but I just want to ask, is there any playoffs in this league?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every team makes playoffs.
Every team in the LGTC league will make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be like, yeah, it'll work.
Okay.
I'll make it work.
The players for the LG
28-team bracket.
Right. So are they going to get the Kelly Cup if they win? I'm just wondering.
Sure, why not?
Okay, well, there you go. You got something to play for now. The players for the LGTC teams would be randomly assigned from training camps of the LGCHL teams.
Yeah.
Similarly to how the CHL players are randomly assigned to the AHL teams. So it'd be basically a farm team, similar to basically we're the AHL is CHL, if that makes sense. So the CHL, our AHL is going to be, or, we're the, okay, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. The AHL's NHL? Okay, you get what I'm trying to say.
So,
we're the feeder league, okay?
So basically what the TC, so when you go through bidding, whatever, in the CHL, and then you'll get randomly assigned AHL rights. Same thing for TC. They get assigned CHL rights.
Right. Okay. So there will be playoff. Do you got to take that call, by the way, or you get?
No, that's fine.
Okay. So there will be a playoffs. So my second question is about the playoffs a little bit further. Are you concerned owners will not use their full roster? Like, for instance, let's say there's a newer...
Continuously play the same guys?
Yeah, why not in the like? I guess there'd have to be a rule book around the playoffs, but why
Yeah,
not just be like, okay, well, because there are going to be RVs in this league and an opportunity to play, and let's say, as you said, we'll use Lemlin as the example. Why not, come playoff
yeah,
time, Lemlin's available. I'm just going to run Lemlin out there every single
yeah,
time, you know.
yeah. I know what you mean.
So are you like, if there is a playoffs, are you concerned more along the lines of
No,
instead of you're not concerned. Like instead of owners trying to
I'm
play everybody, they play their best players in hopes for like a
I'm
better
gonna
seeding.
be making sure that the rules for players playing games per week is the exact same as the C. So like you can only play 3 a week.
Right.
So
But
playoffs, it's gonna be the same thing. You can only play two per series.
so there's no cap structure to the TC league,
No,
correct?
it's just training camp players. So like you can use anyone, but you can only use them 3 times a week, or playoffs 2 times a series.
So how many players would potentially, I know we don't have answers to this, but how many players potentially would be on every team? Like is this just a we don't know this
Like I
yet?
said, just to have 17 guys on all 24 teams, we need 2,208 signups.
Would anybody be position locked?
No,
No position lock.
no.
Hmm. This
because
is
because it's randomly assigned, right? You don't know if you're going to be playing, like if you're
right.
going to get 17 left wings and one team's going to get 7 goalies. Like you're going to be able to trade for the players at the end of the day, but
Right.
because you have no say in your roster except for trading.
Yeah, that's true. Um will the league intervene if there's any like heavy one-sided trades? Like Lemlin for like I'm not gonna say a player's name that embarrassed him, but let's say Lemlin for like Lemlin, Doughty, and J Claus for just Swifty straight up. Okay, how about that? I'll throw myself in there. Even though
I
that's
mean,
not fair at all. Do you know what I mean? Let's say that happens, but something like that.
it's personally it's TC League, it's natural selection. I think at that point, if you want to trade away those three for like one, I mean, balls to the wall, it's all you.
All right.
I don't know. If you want to do that, I don't really care. It's not. I don't think they're gonna the like top tier players are gonna play, but it's an opportunity for them to play if they're not doing anything.
So yeah.
That's why it's there.
And I'm butchering my slides again. I was gonna ask the playoff question. I had a meme ready to go here. I'm just butchering my slides right now. I did all this prep work and I'm not using it. Anyways, yeah, I got the
Love
playoffs
that.
meme. Yeah, I got it going here. But anyways, let's pivot back here and let's talk about the rest of the points. So we went over rosters, the called up status. That's fine. Like nobody's gonna debate that. Game times. How did you settle on the 8 p.m. start?
So they used to play 8, 9, 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I did that for the 4 team thing, they asked if I could make it the 45-minute ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want them to interfere too much with the regular CHL. So 8, you can still make the 8:30 games if needed, and the 8:45 if you can make the 9:10 still. So
Right.
it's just to try and avoid as much as you can, like interfering with the main leagues if you're needed as an ECU for like one of the games.
Right. Okay, and basically the last question came from Fly here. I have him up on
Okay.
screen. Uh he's asking about the inactivity and games requirement for LGTC. So he's saying guaranteed many teams, many guys won't want to participate. Let's just exclude that for a second. The first question I'll ask you is basically his first part. Is there going to be inactivity games requirement in the LGTC league? Is it like so will they
So
have to handle it on their level instead of the upper leagues like
no.
the
So
CHL? Go
so
ahead.
no, because they're just randomly assigned. Like they're not forced to play. Like just
Right.
like you are with the AHL. Like you don't have to play if you don't want to play.
Right.
So It's more like I said, it's there if you want it. That's why there's going to be team owners. They're going to have discords. The guys that are going to want to play will be in those team chats.
Right.
So the managers will be able to run teams. If they forfeit games because they don't have someone or they've played over the games limit, it happens. Like it's just that's what happens when you have low numbers. But as the numbers go up, you normally don't see that as much. Like
Okay.
yes, there was 1,400 people in the TC league this year because just that's what the TC sizes were for 88 teams.
Right.
And I like manually assigned them to 4 teams, so it was like 380 people a team for like for the most part. And I think the team that had the most finished in second, and they only had like 104 people in their Discord, and then the team that had the least finished first, and they only had like 55.
Right.
So like people do want to play.
Mm-hmm.
They want to control when they play too. They'd be like, "Hey, I want to play Monday night, so I will be around Monday night, but I don't have to be around the other 2 nights if I don't want to be."
Right.
The freedom to choose.
And I guess his second part is people won't want to participate, so it's not mandatory and it doesn't matter.
No.
But just how would you motivate players? What would you tell them to get them excited about the TC League?
Well, it's still a chance to play organized like sixes,
Right.
and you get to see your stats on the website.
Yeah.
And if you want to play in the CHL, and I know guys make fun of it, but like if you're tearing up the TC League, managers won't just let that go unnoticed. They're
Right.
gonna.
That's
I'm
fair.
sure someone's gonna take a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Same like I personally know like 4 or 5 goalies that tore it up and that are most likely gonna get a bid next season because they made themselves known. And
Right.
then they started playing in the chat box and made themselves known. So
Right.
just a way to get your name out.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for the TC League. Is there anything else you want to speak on it? Or I think we covered pretty much all. I asked all the questions, maybe all the technicalities. Still some things to be ironed out, but I think we got our answers on that. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you want to cover here or?
No, that's good.
All right. Okay. Oh yeah, this is just some points here on the LGTC League. Allows more players to play LG actively. Yes. Allows CHL and AHL managers to have actual stats to look at. That's true. So yeah, this is all your motivating factors here. Allows newer players to play a different shot at getting a management and learning the ropes. Yeah. Less overall inactive players in the league. True. So a lot of positives there. Hopefully it works out because, you know, the TC leagues in the past, there's been a lot of them. So hopefully red versus blue, then LGTC, and then now we're going to something with more structure. So hopefully it motivates. There is something to play for, right? So
yeah.
As long as you dangle the carrot that there's something to play for, I think people will get interested and motivated to play. If you say, if there's like an LGCTC trophy at the end of it for the winners, I think you'll get people motivated.
I mean, I gave
people always
380 people a gold medal for winning the playoffs for this LGTC.
Oh, that's where it came from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ah. So yeah, as long as you dangle the carrot that people can get trophy points, because a lot of people love that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the RV rules here, I have to bring this up.
We might be scrapping that.
Really?
Well, we don't have the signups, right?
Right. So, okay. So okay, so we'll take this. So you're saying nothing in this post here. Now we're getting some breaking news here. But hold on, I got my soundboard. I got to play the Sports Center. Hold on. Oh my god, what did I do with it? Okay, hold on. It's got to be played. Sorry. There we go. I got it. Okay. So we got some breaking news that it might be scrapped, which isn't really concrete, but so the RV rules, if it is scrapped, because I had a lot of questions, now my questions are out the window. If it is scrapped, would RVs be allowed to be called up not just to the CHL but to the AHL and the NHL? Do you know? Do you have answers on that?
I don't, but I feel like I don't think it's going to be an issue this season at all. Just because the numbers, we want people playing.
So RVs might be call up eligible.
Mhm.
It's there. It is possible now.
Mhm.
So my question was more along the lines of like I was gonna ask like I'm okay. So I'm not gonna jinx it, but I
Mhm.
was one of the few people today that actually got a Series X on drop. On the small 30-second drop. I actually got one. I ordered one today. I actually pulled
There
it
you go.
off. So I was gonna say, let's say I did it, I got unlucky, and then I got unlucky because it usually, if you're looking for one, by the way, you have to have it all set up. But at like every Thursday at like 6:05, they drop on the website on Microsoft.com in Canada, and I was alerted to this by Kaz actually. So I started last week I tried, it was in my cart and I didn't get it. But this week I got it, right? So I had
Yeah.
it because last week I wasn't set up, so I got it this week. But let's say I'm very unlucky. I'm Swifty, I didn't get it, right? Because I didn't want a Series S. I know there's some people out there that don't want the Series S, they want a Series X, right? Because they rather have the full next gen console. There's some elements missing in the Series X. So let's say I'm Swifty, I'm an RV, because I am an RV, and I got it December. I actually managed to get one on Boxing Day or something like that, right? Boxing Day is Black Friday in Canada. That's pretty much what it is.
Mhm.
Um, you are American, correct, Buck?
No, I'm Canadian.
Well, that makes me look bad. Anyways, anyways, let's say like I was gonna ask more along the lines of I didn't think personally it was fair to exclude RVs from a competitive league when if they're just getting an Xbox, for instance, they just got it, they got NHL and they
Yeah.
sign up and then they're stuck with only 5 games. It's not like they're trying to like some people. It's not like they're
Yeah.
trying to
No,
avoid
that's
the upper
why I think
leagues.
it's being scrapped.
Yeah, it's not like they're trying to avoid the upper leagues. It's just they can't get there yet because of the shortage, right? So
Yeah.
that was my question, but it's pretty much answered now. Unless you have anything else you want to touch on that.
No, that's all I had really.
I understand what you're trying to say, CJ, but our Black Friday sales, like we have, like they've been starting to bring over Black Friday to Canada, so we don't go across the border. So they've started the sales, but the best deals of the year hit on Boxing Day, December 26th. That's the best deals. Black Friday is the best deals of the year in the US, I think. I hope, I don't know, but
I would hope so.
I people get trampled and injured, so yeah. I think people lose their lives? I don't know. For Black
I'm
Friday.
sure it's happened in the past.
Oh yeah, probably. Anyways. Okay, section 4 here, we're gonna go over here. I got a GIF on screen for this one. Is
Oh,
the ownership test. Yeah, I went all out in the graphics department today. Uh, so the ownership test. This GIF is perfect for it.
yeah.
Anyways, it's 30 questions. It is
Open
is there
book.
any so take us through the revision here of the test. Go ahead.
So, when I took over Commissioner, Hawks fan had brought over the same one that CJ had used, and it was great. But
Yep.
then we transitioned into something with a different schedule,
Right.
and we went 4-4-4, and it was bad. So the test was all messed up because of it. And then so basically what I did is I took my time and went through everything. I used some of the old questions. I reworded some others. I put in some new questions, and I was able to make a new test.
Right. Would you say Do you think there's any trick questions on this test? I just want to ask that because there's some questions in
There's
the
a couple.
past. Oh, okay. So like there was a question like it's like what constitution, how many constitutions are there in like the rule book? And it was like there was like multiple people kept getting like there's 3, there's 4, there's 1, there's 2, like, you know, like that question. That wasn't that one, that question was super annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
it makes it's open book, right? So you got to make sure they actually like
Right.
do their like reading and actually get it right. Like
True.
I am making sure they get 24 points, otherwise they're not going to be eligible unless I actually need owners.
Fair. Okay. We went through the revision of the test. Now we're going to go over the roster reset here. So I understand the process of the roster reset. You know, you have if people are losing their teams and they're going to have to migrate from other leagues over to the OHL and WHL, there are going to be roster resets because just to keep the competitive balance right, just to be fair to everybody. Take us through this decision. Go ahead.
So roster reset's a fun one because it's not just the CHL that's getting a roster reset.
Wow.
All of Xbox is being wiped.
I think this is the first time that has been said, unless it was already
You're
said.
going to be getting a PM soon.
There you go. Breaking
Everyone
news.
will be.
Universal roster
I have
reset.
permission to explain some of this.
Oh,
So all of Xbox, NHL, AHL, CHL, completely wiped.
right.
Anyone on a multi-season deal is being wiped.
Even DPs.
Everyone. Everyone is going in with a blank slate.
There you
So
go.
NHL will have up to 3 managers that bidding. AHL same thing. CHL same thing.
Right.
There will be no draft
No draft. Wow.
because we don't know because one, prospects are allowed in the NHL. 2, we don't know which prospects are going to have a new gen console.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That's,
NHL and AHL are going to be going the same way as CHL. No multi-season deals. Only 1 seasons with more re-signs available.
wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
But again, when it comes back to the CHL, it was when we were dropping teams, it would be unfair for I'm gonna say it as an example because I know he's in the chat. Eamon from Newfoundland going over to like Edmonton, taking Poodle's team and being able to re-sign all those players as well.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You get sushi right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I understand. I'm
yeah,
just a little stunned about the draft because that's a
I
show
know.
I've lost now. Still got bidding. I still got bidding. Right, but you know, sad. I usually do the draft coverage. Just sad for me. But I understand the decision because it's this move is there's a lot obviously there's a lot behind it and a lot needs to change for it. So, no draft. Wow, that's also, I like one of the things I was talking about Fly with too because he and I talked about this. Like some people traded picks to get players on multi-season deals too, right? So it's like, do they get the picks back? But I guess this like a guy like A1 literally loaded up on picks, right? So it's like it's kind of, you know, he trades away assets and then they don't get to keep the assets, but he gets to keep the picks. But this kind of eliminates that altogether. No draft, the picks are out the window now. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's fair. So that's
Yeah.
that there's an
I
answer
feel
on that.
like feels bad, but yeah.
No, I understand. Everybody loses, and it's just not the guy holding half the draft. It's the guy that actually got something for the draft pick too. So it goes hand in hand. Anyways,
Oxy this year I'll get an AHL chance since there's gonna be no CHL. That's good. That's gold.
Well, Oxy's got to move up. He's in the mix now for another mem. So he won one on PSN. Anyways, Section 6 management criteria. So I
Oh,
uh
yeah.
I had a question from Carlson on this. He was very strongly worded about how the criteria continues to tighten and tighten and tighten, and it continues to get stronger and to keep high level players out. But we've seen this issue this season where some guys that got teams shouldn't have. So first, let me say the new rule where if you're in the final two, you're done. You got to move up for 2 seasons. There are more factors to that, by the way. If you just start managing, because there are multiple criterias that need to be hit for that one. Like you need to manage in the CHL 2 street seasons, make the playoffs both times, and finish top 2. So if you're a new manager and you make it, you're eligible to come back, right? So that's something.
And if you
also,
don't, and if you make playoffs both times and you don't finish top 2, you're still fine.
right.
It's just if you hit top 2 and you're like a veteran manager, it's time
That
to move up.
I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that one. But Buck, I've talked to you with this before. The criteria. Personally speaking, I rather you and the Bogs, maybe you bring somebody in as well. I don't know, out from the outside, but maybe instead of criteria, you just look at everybody on an individual basis. Like I don't know. We had a guy. There was a whole league-wide argument with Edgar. Like Edgar should get a team, right?
Edgar's going to be eligible next season.
Okay, there you go. But just something like that, like you have players like that on the fringe that would do a good job.
We got rid of the PSN stats. That's why.
Right.
I posted the new management criteria. It's up in that thread.
Yeah. Right. So, but basically, what I'm saying is, I think this season we should be fine because we should be fine this season because there's less teams, so the quality of managers should improve theoretically, right? Depending on who's actually able to manage. But like if in the future, if the signups aren't like if some of the managers we're back to this stage where we have some weak managers again, like would you consider like people that are on the fringe? Like this season it was Edgar on the fringe. I know next season he's allowed, but let's say we get another guy that is on the fringe, his stats are slightly above, but he'll do a good job. Would you consider letting a manager manage if he's above the criteria but barely, but he'd do a good job? That's what I'm trying to say. Go ahead.
Are you talking about like a guy like Oso Country who's no longer eligible? Because yeah. I understand.
Oh, is he no longer?
No, because his AHL win percentage is 66, basically 66%.
Right. Like Oso Country, he'd do a good job, right?
So that's why in the management criteria, I have also at the bottom, like it says that like basically I get the final say.
Oh, I like that addition.
It's like if I can say like if you've played too good or too bad, like you're no longer eligible. Like guys like again, Eamon, like personally think he should move up. He took Barry to the final OHL finals last year.
Yep.
With Hines and JP built another like super solid team.
Mm-hmm.
But then he took over Newfoundland and went on a tear and almost won the Presidents. I've seen him play at the other league.
You forgot round 2 what happened there, but anyways.
Yeah.
He ran into Swifty. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but you know what I mean. Like guys like that, like they should move up. Guys like Baby Tip or like I don't know who, like Saginaw, like they're not going to be able to manage again. Kingston probably not either. So, like I'm going to get like final say on like some that are like
Right.
that's where the Bogs are probably gonna have to put it to a vote, and then we like say like, hey, this guy, yes, no. So,
Right. Hmm.
it's only really for the owners though, because the owners, it's their team, so like we're gonna be the ones choosing, right? But
Mhm.
for their managers, we're sticking straight to the criteria. There will be no yes or no. Only owners.
Right. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, just relating to the RV thing. So it's still highest contract even if they're RV'd, right?
I
Randomly
would assume.
assigned.
I would
Okay.
assume so.
Sorry, I just saw something in the chat related to that. I was just wondering. Anyways,
Yeah, no, that's
keeping an eye.
100%.
Everybody's been nice in the chat today. I like it. Okay. Okay, here's the timeline. Somebody asked about a timeline, but I have the timeline here. It was sent out in a PM by McDonald's, so everybody should have this, right? Unless he sent it to me individually, which
He sent it to everybody on Xbox and PlayStation because I got
yeah,
two.
I was about to say if he just sent it to me, then I was like, okay, I guess I have to relay the message. But no, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. But yeah, he sent it. This is what's going on the timeline. So if anybody had any questions about the timeline, you should have. Like some of these PMs, I do recommend. I know I used to brush them over, but I don't anymore. So just somebody asked about this, and I
Yeah,
thought I'd
no.
just refresh people's memories.
So a couple things. We're still tinkering with the timeline a bit, just because of how signups are and numbers are, and like realistically how quick we can go through the off season. So that should be coming out more publicly, like a finalized, revised one. But for CHL owner dates, it's actually been moved to the 16th.
Ah,
We moved it back. Sorry, to the 15th. We brought it back to release day
right.
for CHL owners to be in place, just because they're the last league. They don't need to be the priority to have owners in.
All right. What do I got next? Any interest in a team captain? Somebody asked this. I thought it was Pistol Patelli. I still go with Patelli. I know it's Pete, but Patelli on this show because of all the L's at his name, at the end of his name. Somebody asked, the Patelli asked about a team captain, potentially like a reserve, but I think there's already an answer to this. So I guess the question would be like protection, right? In this case.
So that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he just wants to have a player that's on his
Like
team before bidding, though, like a
yeah,
protected player before bidding, so like a re-sign and protect
right.
almost. But
So no resign though, because
no,
that's out the window. But let's say
so,
post bidding, we have that already, right? Is that going to be
yes. So
maintained?
protected players are going to be maintained. Yes,
Okay,
two per team still, but yeah.
so that
So yeah,
would be the team captain in his sense here.
yeah. So every team can only go into bidding with 3 people. They're managers, and that's it.
Right.
And if they want two, well, that's up to them.
All right. Okay. And so this is relating back to the very beginning of the show about incorporating old gen players into a newly formed CHL. I don't know how he got this information, but literally what Chick said is a potential option, right? Old gen in the CH, like it's an old gen league.
Using CHL teams, yes.
I have no
That's
idea.
something that's like just a contingency plan that we've still got to figure out. But yeah, that's something that we've been talking about.
Yeah, so relating there, like that is honestly, I don't know how he figured that out, but I guess that is an option on the table. But let's say everything goes swimmingly, all the new gen players, if there's enough signups and we can do the CA everything right as planned. Would there be I don't know if this is a question for you or McDonald or somebody else, but would there be potentially another league for old gen players?
Probably a McDonald question, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought I might like we have some answers on contingency plans, but yeah, I did want to ask if there was anything brewing in that sense. So you did answer it, and you did. I had a feeling an old gen league would be more a McDonald question. So we'll see. Anyways, if there's any chat questions, I did get a DM clarifying. Somebody wanted an answer. Buck, I'm not sure if this is a you question too, but is there going to be 3 managers pre-bidding in each league? So NHL and AHL as well, or just CHL 3?
Well,
Or is this not to be disclosed yet?
I don't really know for the A and the N, but for the C you can have 3.
The CHL still 3, but the NHL and the AHL it's just 2 at the moment for sure, and then you don't know if there's going to be a third option. I thought I did get a DM about this because somebody asked, but I didn't think, you know. Anyways. Somebody ping me in here. Yeah, Patelli was talking about before bidding because there's no re-signs, but the answer is no.
The answer is no.
So, Bug, you just answered CJ's question in the chat. It's still 3.5 million. Now that P can go to the N or the A, you think 2 protections is still enough? So,
yes.
So prospects, that's not confirmed yet if the numbers aren't great. If the numbers aren't great, then, you know, potentially, right?
Yeah. If the numbers aren't great,
right?
Yeah, they can play out.
But if they are, then prospects still CHL protected, right?
Yeah, they'd be CHL protected if we had the numbers.
Country is just bringing the heat right now.
Yeah, I know. Why is no one? That's going to be dealt with privately.
There you go.
We already have a punishment planned.
There you go. Any other questions? What that's not a question for Buck Oxy. That's a Swifty question.
You can answer it.
I'm thinking about going defense next season because why not? Right? I'll be one of the better defensemen in the league. I got to get my Xbox first. I swear. It better arrive. I got the order confirmation and it charged my account. So it better arrive. I swear. But I got one. But I might go lefty. Just to mix it up. I want to just play different things. I don't think we have answers on that yet, Country.
Yeah. Again, everything depends on numbers. And once we've got a more solid idea of what the numbers are going to look like.
CJ asks a great question here. So since well-established owners are losing their teams, is there any priority? I guess not, right? Because it's a roster reset, right?
So it's a roster reset. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to look at everyone case by case.
Right.
Starting with the highest scores, obviously, because they're going to pop up first on my spreadsheet that automatically generates.
Mm-hmm.
So then I look at them. So everyone's going to go through the management criteria after they've done their test.
Right.
So basically, if you want to be management, you have to complete the test, and then I'm going to vet you. Right. I have a whole doc now, and I have check to see if they've been banned, check to see if they've been CO'd in 7 seasons, see all the things, and then I have a spreadsheet with all the calculations for their AHL, NHL stats and win percentage and points per game. But old owners are still going to have priority if they pass the test to choose their teams as well.
Wow.
I'm going to give the old owners a list of 3 teams they can pick, first come, first serve, if they get a team.
Right.
And then the new guys will be left with the leftovers like last season, first come, first serve again, but they'll have a list of 5.
Right. Thank you to Hexside Camp for gifting another sub to Clutch. Appreciate it very much. Is there any other questions? Oh, I'm going to read this out here. Regardless of the crap Buck gets in the heat of the moment, majority believe you're doing a good job. Keep it up. There you go. He just grilled you and then he said good job. So
Yeah. I honestly, with this position, you can't take anything too personally. Like, I try not to. It's tough sometimes when you're just in a mood, but yeah, it's just keep your head up, chat, chill. I have fun.
Clutch is asking, I don't know. We'll see. That's the answer.
That's the real answer. We'll see.
That's the answer. He's saying, Buck, I'm old gen. Can I play LG? The answer is we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Buck, you were teammates with Country. Look at that. Buck.
Yeah, he scrub hunted and gave me all the top teams, and we still, I think, finished with the same amount of wins.
Tough. And
Okay.
Bucktacular greater than the young Buck. How do you feel
Yeah,
about that?
if I didn't lose that bet, it would have been DaYoungBuck. But you know, I lost a bet, so I'm Bucktacular until the end of playoffs. Go London, woo!
I don't know. Anyways, I think we're done. I don't think anybody else is pressing for anything. All right. Thank you for doing this, Buck.
Country. No problem.
Appreciate you
It was a
joining
good time.
the show. Yeah, I think we did a good job here. You clearly answered every question, and I think everybody gets their answers to, there was some that, you gave answers to before I can even, ask the question. So, you came well prepared. I think everybody got clear answers. I hope I wasn't tough on you. I wasn't trying to be, but I think we got, yeah. I'm not an interviewer, right? But I don't know, I do my thing, but we're gonna try getting some different interviews on the show. And glad you were the first one. Anything you want to say before you go? Anything you want to tell the audience or plug, or go ahead?
There's a good chance I play in the CHL next season, and I might still sign up as a goalie. I don't know.
Wow, 5 mil. I got ready, prepared for you. I'm not managing, but I have it ready.
Yeah, I'm ready to go for 5+ again.
Are we gonna see the CHL's first $5 million goal? I think there was an 875 goalie once, Sergey. Remember that guy?
Okay.
He was on North Bay.
My. I think so.
Yeah, he actually played goaltender, and his team was good too.
Was that back when there was like 16 goalies on a team though?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
No, but he was actually a goalie.
Yeah, still makes sense though. He could probably had his player contract at that price though.
Right.
Jeez.
Well, that's fun. We'll be back on Sunday for coverage of the Memorial Cup final.
Woo! Let's go.
Who do you got, Buck? Oh, you're not. Are you not allowed to say? I'm not sure.
My gamer tag says London, but I still think Valdor in 6.
There you go. There you go.
Yo, I said when they went down 3-0 to Charlottetown, I said if they come back and win the series, they're winning the Mem Cup.
Wow.
And they're there, so they're not a bad team. They just their goaltending and defense is really, really solid.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed the interview, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.